Welcome to the tutorials on Linux. This is first of the 18-part video series helping you become a Linux pro. So let's get started. So what is an operating system? Every time you switch on your computer, you see a screen where you can perform different activities like write, browse the internet, or watch a video. What is it that makes the computer hardware work like that? How does the processor on your computer know that you are asking it to run an MP3 file? Well, it is the operating system or the kernel which does this work. A kernel is the program at the heart of any operating system that takes care of fundamental stuff like letting hardware communicate with software. So to work on your computer, you need an operating system. In fact, you are using one as you read this on your computer. Now, you may have used popular operating systems like Windows, Apple OS X, but here we will learn what Linux is and what benefits it offers over other OS choices. So what is Linux and who created it? Linux is an operating system or a kernel which germinated as an idea in the mind of young and bright Linus Torvalds when he was a computer science student. He used to work on the Unix operating system and thought that it needed improvements. However, when his suggestions were rejected by the designers of Unix, he thought of launching an OS which will be receptive to the changes, modifications suggested by its users. So Linus devised a kernel named Linux in 1991, though he would need programs like File Manager, document editors, audio-video programs to run on it. Something as you have a cone but no ice cream on the top. As time passed by, he collaborated with other programmers in places like MIT, and applications for Linux started to appear. So around 1991, a working Linux operating system with some applications was officially launched, and this was the start of one of the most loved and open source OS options available today. The earlier versions of Linux were not so user-friendly as they were in use by computer programmers, and Linus Torvalds never had it in mind to commercialize his product. This definitely curbed Linux's popularity as other commercially oriented operating system, Windows, got famous. Nonetheless, the open source aspect of the Linux operating system made it more robust. But now, Linux has got its due attention. The main advantage of Linux was that programmers were able to use the Linux kernel in order to design their own custom operating systems. This has now made Linux one of the most popular and widely used kernel, and it is the backbone of popular operating systems like Debian, Ubuntu, and Fedora. The list doesn't end here, as there are thousands of operating systems based on Linux which offer a variety of functions to the users. So what are the benefits of using Linux? Linux now enjoys popularity at its prime, and it's famous among programmers as well as regular computer users around the world. Its main benefit is that it offers a free operating system. You do not have to shell hundreds of dollars to get the operating system like Windows. Other benefits are, being open source, anyone with programming knowledge can modify it. The Linux operating systems now offer millions of programs and applications to choose from, most of them free. Once you have Linux installed, you no longer need an antivirus. Linux is a highly secure system. More so, there is a global development community constantly looking at ways to enhance its security. With each upgrade, the operating system becomes more secure and robust. Linux is the operating system of choice for server environments due to its stability and reliability. Mega companies like Amazon, Facebook, and Google use Linux for their servers. A Linux-based server could run non-stop without a reboot for years on end. So is it for you? Users who are new to Linux usually shun it by falsely considering it as a difficult and technical operating system to operate. But to state the truth, in the last few years, Linux operating systems have become a lot more user-friendly than their counterparts like Windows. So trying them is the best way to know whether Linux suits you or not. I am asked to learn Unix, then why Linux? Unix is the mother of the operating systems, which laid out the foundation to Linux. Unix is designed mainly for mainframes and used in enterprises and universities. While Linux is fast becoming a household name for computer users, developers, and server environment. You may have to pay for a Unix kernel, while in Linux it is free. But the commands used on both the operating systems are usually the same. There is not much difference between Unix and Linux. Though they might seem different, at core they are essentially the same, since Linux is a clone of Unix. So learning one is same as learning another. This was a short introduction to Linux. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next tutorial.